Chapter 12, Flames on Beale Street. The Memphis night air hung thick with the scent of barbecue smoke and impending storm, but tonight, the storm was human. Ethan Caldwell gripped the steering wheel of his SUV, white-knuckled, as he navigated the chaotic gridlock near Beale Street. He'd come to the city for a podcast taping, a fiery debate on traditional values in a divided South, but the rally outside the Peabody Hotel had spiraled into something ugly. What started as dueling chants between conservative activists and counter-protesters had erupted into a full-blown riot, bottles shattering against police barricades, fists flying, and the acrid bite of tear gas wafting through the open car window. Ethan's phone buzzed on the passenger seat, another alert from his producer. "Get out of there, man. It's turning bad." Too late. A brick clipped the hood of his SUV, and the crowd surged like a tidal wave. Hands yanked at his door, faces twisted in fury under the sodium glow of street lamps. "Get out, you redneck," someone snarled, and before Ethan could lock the doors, they were on him. He tumbled onto the asphalt, the world a blur of boots and shouts. A knee drove into his ribs, cracking something sharp inside, a fist connected with his jaw, stars exploding behind his eyes. Then came the blow to the head, a wild swing from a masked figure that sent him reeling, vision tunneling to black at the edges. Blood trickled warm down his temple, and he tasted copper. Lord, not like this, he thought, curling fetal as the mob pressed in. His mind flashed to his loving family back in Nashville, and the half-written speech on his laptop about unity through faith. Through the haze, a voice cut sharp and soulful, like a gospel cry amid the chaos, "Back off him. Y'all want trouble, you come through me first." Ethan blinked, his bleary eyes focusing on a figure wading into the fray. She was a whirlwind. Thick, wild frizzy hair like a crown of midnight coils, framing high cheekbones that carved her face into something almost ethereal, a blend of fierce African queen and unexpected delicacy. Her skin was dark ebony, glowing under the streetlights, and she wore a simple peasant dress, modest and flowing, its earth-toned fabric hugging a figure that hinted at curves without revealing them. She looked like she'd stepped out of a Delta Blues poster, all fire and grace. Zora Mae Jackson shoved her way through the crowd, her voice booming with the authority of someone who'd harmonized in church choirs and screamed down hecklers at open mics. "This man's done nothing to y'all. Let him be, or the Lord gonna judge you tonight." Her words weren't just a plea, they were a command, laced with that soul-deep timbre that could hush a congregation or rally a revolution. A few in the mob hesitated, her presence was magnetic, unignorable. And in that split second, she hooked her arm under Ethan's, hauling him up with surprising strength. "Come on, sugar," she muttered, close enough that he caught the faint scent of jasmine and sweat. "Ain't no time for napping." Ethan staggered, leaning on her as they stumbled away from the melee. His head throbbed like a bass drum, vision swimming, and for a moment, he wondered if he was dreaming. Who was this angel? She was stunning, those high cheekbones catching the light, her dark eyes fierce yet tender, her frizzy halo framing a face that seemed both ancient and alive with possibility. He mumbled something incoherent, a garbled thank you, but it came out as a groan. Zora half-dragged, half-carried him 2 blocks to her beat-up Chevy parked in a side alley. "Easy now, cowboy. I got you." She bundled him into the passenger seat, her hands gentle as she dabbed a handkerchief, pulled from her dress pocket, at the gash on his forehead. Blood smeared the white cotton, but she didn't flinch. The engine roared to life, and they peeled out, leaving the sirens wailing behind. Her apartment was a third-floor walk-up in a crumbling brick building off South Main, the kind of place where the walls thrummed with bass from the juke joint below. Zora flicked on a single lamp, casting warm shadows over mismatched furniture, a sagging couch piled with song journals, a guitar propped in the corner, and a small wooden cross nailed above the kitchenette. "Sit," she ordered, guiding him to the couch. Ethan collapsed, the room tilting like a funhouse. He pressed a hand to his temple, wincing. Dreaming. Gotta be. But she was real, Zora Mae Jackson, moving with purpose, filling a bowl with cool water from the sink and grabbing a first aid kit from a drawer. She knelt before him, her peasant dress pooling around her knees, and began cleaning the wound. Up close, her beauty hit him like a revelation. Those cheekbones sharp as carved ebony, full lips curved in concentration, and eyes that held storms and serenity in equal measure. Her hair, wild and untamed, brushed his arm as she worked, sending a shiver through his battered body. "You took quite the beating," she said softly, her voice a low, soulful rumble that eased the pain like balm. "Head wounds bleed like the devil, but you'll live." "What's your name, stranger?" "Ethan," he managed, his voice thick. "Ethan Caldwell." "And you're Zora." "Zora May." She smiled, a flash of white against her dark skin, and it lit the room brighter than the lamp. Part genuine good Samaritan, part fool for a lost cause. "What were you doing in that mess? You don't strike me as the riot type." He chuckled weakly, then winced. "Podcast. Debating values. Unity. Got caught in the crossfire." His eyes traced her face, mesmerized. "Stunning. Like a vision from Proverbs." The dizziness made everything feel surreal. Her touch on his skin, the way her fingers lingered just a beat too long on his jaw. Zora's expression softened, but there was a spark in her eyes, something hungry and unhinged. She'd seen his type before, polished, principled, the kind of man who quoted scripture like ammunition. But this one, oh, he had that Charlie Kirk fire, that clean-cut conviction wrapped in a southern drawl. Her heart twisted. She'd wept over posts about Kirk's assassination for weeks, imagining a man like him seeing past the color line, seeing her. And now, here was Ethan, bloodied but unbroken, needing her in ways that fed her deepest cravings, to save him, body and soul. "Hold still," she murmured, pressing a cool cloth to his forehead. Her free hand found his, squeezing gently. "The Lord's got a funny way of throwing folks together. You feel that? That's grace, right there." Ethan nodded, or tried to, the room spinning slower now. Her touch grounded him, her voice a melody pulling him from the fog. "Feels like a dream. You look like an angel with a sword." She laughed, a rich, throaty sound that vibrated through him. "Flatterer, even half concussed. But angels got work to do." She helped him sip water laced with aspirin, her thumb brushing his lip in a way that sent heat pooling despite the ache in his ribs. As the night deepened, she talked, soft confessions spilling out like blues lyrics. She told him of her music, her Fire Sisters trio waiting on her call, her dreams of a true revolution that bridged divides with soul and spirit. And beneath it, her pleas, "You need healing, Ethan. Not just this." She gestured to his head. "But here." Her hand pressed his chest, over his heart. "And here." To his temple, but her eyes said soul. He stared, transfixed. This woman, wild-haired, ebony-skinned, modest yet magnetic, was unraveling him. "What about you?" he whispered, voice husky. "What's a woman like you saving a fool like me for?" Zora's gaze darkened, that unhinged edge flickering. "Partly because the mob would eat you alive out there. Partly, because I see something in you worth saving. Like a knight gone astray. And darling." She leaned closer, her breath warm on his cheek. "I crave it. Saving you. Making you see the revolution ain't just talk, it's soul deep, crossing every line." They talked till dawn crept in, her bandaging his wounds, him sharing snippets of his non-existent social life, his faith tested by ambition. Spiritual threads wove through, prayers murmured over his bruises, her quoting psalms with a gospel twist that made his conservative heart ache with unfamiliar fire. By sunrise, the dizziness had ebbed, but the dreamlike pull remained. Zora pressed a business card into his hand, Zora Mae Jackson, the Fire Sisters, and drove him to his hotel. "Visit our community," she begged as he stepped out, her voice cracking. "That community's my next chapter. Come see the real revolution." "For me?" Ethan pocketed the card, her beauty etched in his mind. "I will. I promise." As she drove away, he touched the spot on his chest where her hand had lingered, wondering if he'd just been saved, or ensnared.